opted for Primke over Sean White. And Tingay, who has got Costa, who picked him up last time at the Western Oval.
So here we go. Another knockout final coming your way on 7. Ideal conditions as Simon Atkins soccers one down towards the right half forward flank area. It's pushed wide. First to it is Norris. Swings it round towards centre wing. In that position, great tackle. Spills to Liberatore, gets it across to Costa. He's under pressure. Spills free. Norris once again for his second touch. Tingay in trouble. Trying to go back to Norris again. Good tackling, good pressure, and over the line on the outer side.
Yeah, well, that was a fair hip and shoulder there by Tingay with that Atkins kicking the ball off the ground there. Instantaneously, there was good pressure, as you would expect early in the final.
Irving wins it. West tried to get free. The umpire's letting the whistle go and letting play go on. Hunter claimed by Lovett, but he gets his kick down towards centre wing. West a chance for the Dogs. Kicks up towards centre half forward. No mark taken. In front, but unable to hold it was Andy Lovell. Now an opportunity for Cameron. Wobbles it down towards full forward. Which way will it bounce? Away from the Dogs. And they can start something up here. Cleared to Lovett. Brett Lovett on the half-back flank. Well smothered and over the line.
Just a costly fumble there by Brett Lovett, a simple chest mark. And again, the finals pressure, you just cannot work it out which way it will go.
And we've already mentioned the conditions here, the weather conditions that prevailing in Melbourne this afternoon. Just a little blustery breeze. This is Brett Lovett again, can't control it. Steve Wallace went in. Viney, now Lovell. Lovell playing his 100th game with Stephen Tingay. The ball in the direction of centre-half forward for Melbourne. The kick by Tingay goes wide. The opportunity now with Matthew Phoebe outside 50 metres. He kicks to the square. It bounces in the square. Krediuk hurries it over for the first score. A rush behind to Melbourne. The bench for Footscray.
Scott Allen, Anthony Darcy, and the other one at the end there is Brad Nicholson.
Kick in by Krediuk. To the far side. Out there, looks for and cannot find. Number 16 there for Footscray is Matthew Croft. And the ball bundled over for a throw-in. It's about, well, it's probably 2 kicks from Melbourne's goal now. And we have a look at what happened earlier in the season at the MCG in round 8, a 3-point win for the Bulldogs. And of course, Footscray comprehensive over Melbourne at the Western Oval in round 23. And they get the ball down towards the wing, do the Bulldogs. It comes to the back. Callan, very quick. He's kicked towards full forward. Clears the players there. Back is Neitz. Neitz short ball handling. Little kick. Goes a bit too far there for Dyson. Back goes Viney. Viney for Melbourne from left half back.
Over the line but touched. Well done. Tony Liberatore.
He's a champion, isn't he, Libba? Fantastic tackler, best tackler in the competition. Led the competition again this year, probably about the 3rd year in a row.
Sets a marvellous example. Viney to Dyson. Kevin Dyson floats a hand pass. It's going to be stolen again. Footscray doing the bulk of the attack, although Melbourne have got the 1 point on the board. It's on their half-forward line at the moment. Sean White comes away. He steadies as he kicks up over the centre. No mark taken. Past Lovell. Gilbert follows it down. Still going, Phil Gilbert. Eventually loses it. Thrown out the back door by Atkins. In fact, it was Malloy. Now Atkins again. Goes up towards the half-forward line. Melbourne have the numbers. Phoebe couldn't take the mark. Kellett's got pace. Soccers it off the ground. Into the pocket he goes. Here comes Neitz. He's got to beat a couple. Puts his body over the ball. Holds it up for a moment or two. Thrown up in the air. In all sorts of trouble as Hilton. Was that deliberate?
It was deliberate, but the umpire's not avoiding it. An enormous pressure there being applied by both sides.
What about the attempted hand pass by Primke? Was a bit suspect.
Yeah, a bit suspect. And also the little tunnel ball from Simon Atkins as Sandy called a throw.
From the throw-in. Chance for Neitz. Short little chip, and he's gone straight to Richard Osborne.
Richard Osborne, who's been a very good pickup for Footscray after spending a year at Sydney. Has kicked 32 goals for the season. 32 goals, 20. And has also given Footscray another option up on that forward line alongside Chris Grant. He's being picked up by Sean White.
Just inside 40 metres. Richard Osborne's kick for goal is 1 behind.
They're the sort of chances Richard's got to nail if Footscray's to have any chance. They must make the most of their opportunities, the Doggies, early in the game.
Yes, we saw a lot of chances go begging in the match yesterday, and I'm a little bit with you there, Bernie, and class players can't afford to miss from reasonable margins, especially when you can get the distance quite simply. This is Stephen Phoebe for the Demons. He kicks to the far side, the outer side, looks out there for Sean White, and White takes a straightforward mark in front of his face at left half back for Melbourne. His kick goes towards centre wing. Southern punches from Schwartz. At ground level is Scotty West. He just gets his left foot to it. Fortunately for him, it didn't cover a lot of ground, but in the finish he gets a free kick for a push in the back.
And a good contributor too, Scotty West on the wing. He started off as a rover forward pocket, but since being given the latitude in that on that wing position, has really blossomed.
Big punch by Neitz. Tingay, little hand pass. Norrish, then Lovell. Lovell's kick to half forward for Melbourne. Malloy onto it, but Southern was terrific in that contest. He wanted that footy and he got it. Kick forward by Rowan Smith. Goes over for a boundary throw in right near where the players, well, at least the Footscray players, enter this arena.
Standing Southern, there's no worries about his contesting capabilities. He'll give it 100%.
Irving again trying to get front spot. Stanfield is claimed he's got the football, and a bounce will take place.
One of the matchups. Steve Wallace is picking up Matthew Phoebe on one wing.
Punters liking Melbourne, 5-2 on. Footscray 13-8 against. But very early days. Viney in trouble, tried to eventually sock it off the ground, but they just lock it up. West is finally taken away from the football as Jim Steins looks on with Hilton, and a bounce will take place. And a couple of lookalikes, Hilton and Hopgood to name two. Dyson's kick partly smothered. Costa over the boundary line on the outer side.
Just having a look at the Melbourne forward line, Sandy. Gary Lyons being picked up by Steve Credihook. Matthew Croft has Martin Pike. And Rowan Smith is picking up Malloy.
Stanfield and Irving, the latter, doing the work from behind. Wins it. Dyson couldn't take it away, however. Stanfield claimed. Atkins in there working hard. Can't get it out. Eventually does. He shovels it forward to Kellum, who's pretty quick. Gets the hand pass away. This should result in a score for the Dogs. In towards Reynolds over the top. And just touched on the line for one behind. Great desperation. Finals desperation. 2 points on the board.
They just couldn't get enough height on that kick there, Brad Johnson.
So the kick in on this occasion to be done by Prümke, and something that is synonymous now with fullbacks. They just hang on to it until they can see a player to get it away to. Tingay took the mark at centre half back, away to his fellow 100 gamer Andy Lovell, and a great mark. Superior strength there. They both tried to body each other, but it's taken by Schwartz. Short kick into the pocket. Good lead, good mark is taken by Pike. Pike is about 30 metres out, maybe a little closer, but a very tight angle confronting Martin Pike. He's been certainly a goal kicking forward for the Demons over the latter part of this season. Martin Pike from the right forward pocket, kicks for goal. It's close. I think it may be behind. It is. So the scores are level, 2 points apiece, and we're about halfway through the first term.
Yeah, Schwartz has been averaging 7 marks a game at centre half forward for the Demons. He's had a magnificent year playing in that position.
It's going to be great to see his duel with Danny Southern as Rowan Smith goes to the outer side. Atkins forced to fly from behind, but he does well to soccer it forward down towards centre wing. Hunter goes even further forward. The Dogs a chance to set something up here through West. West spears it into half forward. Grand play to Chris Grant.
Magnificent, wasn't it? One end of the ground to the other. Lovely long kick out from fullback from Rowan Smith. And what delivery that was. Full forward's delight there coming from Scott West. Chris Grant playing game number 100 here this afternoon at the MCG.
And only 21 years old. He's got a wonderful future ahead of him. He's made the distance, but he's away to the right. So a nervous start by both sides in front of goal. Point the difference.
Obviously the blustery wind conditions causing some problems for shooting for goal. Sean White, this is the third different Melbourne player to kick in. Kicks it out wide. Primke off to Todd Viney. Costa number 12 for Footscray, but Todd Viney's kick in the direction of Schwartz. Back goes Southern, falls and carries the ball over for a throw-in. Heavy padding on his right shoulder, and he looked as though he was tucking something back in underneath there. Maybe the tape hasn't taken. It looks as though it's holding maybe a bit of a sponge type material on the top of his shoulder there.
He had that last week as well.
This is Glenn Lovett for Melbourne. Hand pass in towards centre half forward. Brett Lovett got enough time to recover. Back to Glenn. Tackle ineffective by Smith, but good by Liberatore. Ball spills for Gary Lyon. Spins out of trouble and kicks the first goal of the game. Absolutely magnificent football by the Melbourne captain Gary Lyon to kick his first and Melbourne's first goal.
Yes, what a player, Gary Lyon. Here we see a couple of attempted tackles. Libba did his best there to smother that kick there from Glenn Lovett. I didn't think it was a great effort there from Hunter in the tackling department. He really allowed Gary Lyon to brush past him fairly easily.
5 points the margin, favouring the Demons. West picks it up, pumps it high to half forward for the Dogs. No mark taken. Here's an opportunity for Osborne just outside 50. Atkins tries to do the shepherding, but Osborne gets clear. 51 metres out. In towards full forward. There's been a whistle. It's got to come back.
It's a goal. It's a goal, isn't it?
I think he may. Let me see. Well, I can't believe this.
Well, why did Atkins come in? He came in and remonstrated.
Irving off the ground, Stein's on. That's come a little bit earlier. Here's the free kick.
Well, there's no free kick there for starters.
Well, what's going on? Why has it been brought back, Robert?
Well, it was too high, but I'd think if he had have kicked a goal, wouldn't you think the umpire would say all clear?
Well, Reynolds had taken the mark in the square.
Well, let's have a look at the kick anyway. It's rushed over eventually for one behind. Some interesting lines there. It's too high, no free kick. However, the bottom line is one behind, and it's 4 points the difference with Big Jim on, as we said, and Irving having a spell. This is the same ploy that was used last week by Neil Baum. Kick is pinpointed to Jason Norrish. Norrish's kick over the head of Lover. He's got the player waiting down though in Malloy. Through the centre goes Dyson. Kevin Dyson wobbles one down towards half forward. What's the bounce like for Lyon? It's good, but his hand passes astray. Rowan Smith comes through for the Dogs. Kicks straight into the man on the mark. That was Phoebe. Picked up by Liberatore. Back towards centre wing and he finds Wallace. Wallace goes on with it to the outer side and Johnson. He's got a bit of time. Just gets his kick eventually. They closed in very rapidly. Good strong mark taken in that position by Robert West. Robert and Scotty West out on this ground today. In towards half forward Reynolds. Plays on. Snap by Kellett. The Dogs have their first.
I think he was called to play on there, Sandy. Keenan Reynolds, who played on the forward line last week. There he is talking to the umpire about the mark there, Brian Sheehan. The kick coming from Robert West into the forward line. Well, I don't know why that wasn't awarded, but the umpire had called play on, and it didn't matter in the end. A lovely goal there to Nigel Kellett.
Back in the middle once more. This time it's Melbourne down towards their half-forward line, and Schwartz takes the mark. From 55 metres out, he lets one go. It's long in towards full forward. And it's a good, strong mark. Taken on the very last line of defence. Pressure on this young Bulldog defence. Real pressure. Look at that kick. Out of bounds, but not on the full as Danny Southern goes steaming into the fence.
Well,
Crediuk, big job for him today.
He'll stand up to the pressure. Don't worry about Crediuk.
Had a big job last week.
Had a very big job.
Well, this man in the Footscray jumper here has got a big job, Barry Stanfield. Melbourne forced the ball back towards half forward. Collected by Rowan Smith, gets it to Hunter. Hunter held onto it, and that was fairly important because he had to wait the kick for Costa. Away goes the handball to Crediuk. Crediuk down towards the wing. It goes past Robbie West. The advantage is now with Hopgood, but the ball spills now for Osborne. Osborne's kick is weighted into half forward. Too far there for West. That's a push in the back, surely. If it's not, it's holding the man, and it will go to Footscray to be taken by Robert West. Being held onto was the indication from the umpire. The short pass is okay, Cameron.
That'll be nearly 50.
And I tell you what, if he'd have fallen over, it certainly would have been.
It was Norwich doing the pushing.
Umpire still beckoning for Norwich to come back 1.5 metres closer to goal for Cameron. So Footscray doing well in the early part of this game. They're 1-4 leading Melbourne 1-2. Cameron shot for goal. He's offline, and offline by a long way. It's missed altogether. So it's a free kick in that left back pocket to be taken for Melbourne, as we see Jeff Hilton on the bench for the Demons. But this is Brett Lovett for Melbourne to kick them out of danger.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Lovett's kick is good. His namesake is at the back of the pack, and now Andy Lovell, a chance to run. Atkins closes on him, but he gets his kick down towards half forward. Southern couldn't quite get a hand to it. Schwartz, it may open the door for the Schwarter. Too wide.
Should have gone for the little left foot kick to the front of the square. Both those boys, Pike and Lyon, were making position.
Well, he kicked a couple of miraculous goals last week against Carlton, so I suppose that'll be in his mind also. Robert, sorry to mention Carlton again.
Oh, forget it, boys, please.
Ready to the outer side. Big pack of players, but David Schwartz comes over the top and takes a screamer.
3 marks already to David Schwartz.
Call to play on. Can't quite get round Southern. Lovett has it.
Well, Hunter's not happy. Only time I've ever seen veins stick out in someone's neck more than that was when I've seen David Parkin address the Carlton players at quarter time and three-quarter time.
You're right.
So from the bounce, Liberatore tries to get it through towards Rowan Smith. Look at Liberatore in there once again. What an example he sets.
Yes, a great little player, Tony Liberatore. Melbourne leading in the hit-outs. And a ruck contest at half forward. Steins gets it down, but it's Southern for Footscray. Gets his right foot to it. Close to the boundary line. Costa and Matthew Phoebe. And the umpire gives the all clear for the boundary umpire to throw it in. So both players recovering there, Costa and Matthew Phoebe, Alan Joyce, and the free kicks in favour of the Bulldogs. Boundary throw in, left half forward for Melbourne. Steins gets his left fist to it. Can't really clear the pack, so the umpire will have to bounce. It's about 75 metres from the Melbourne goal in their left half forward area. Footscray lead 1-4, Melbourne are 1-2.
With just on 8 minutes remaining, Steins doing the work from the back. The high kick has got to see Danny Southern sit and wait. Showed courage. Crediop goes storming through. Liberatore at the bottom of the pack. Gives it out to Costa. Kim Costa around his body goes up towards centre wing. The bouncing ball is good for Sean White initially. Steins under a bit of pressure. White goes in to try and take it back again. Eventually runs out of room.
They've been pretty good early, Footscray, the way they've pressurised Melbourne. They put a lot of pressure on them.
Steins to do the ruck work with Stanfield. Lovell and Lovett. Now Sean White again. In towards Schwartz. Used the body and just plucks it with one hand. Couldn't quite hold it. Southern defends over the line.
He's got a big job, Danny Southern. Tough job on David Schwartz. Already Schwartz has taken 3 marks. Attempted, he did everything right and then just couldn't drag it in at the end.
Did not stick. Southern fists it with the left hand, then applies the tackle. He's got a pit bull terrier and a shark as a pet, Danny Southern. There's 2 pets. It's time he contests. Straight down to West. Good young player, Scotty West. Towards centre wing. Osborne had front spot. Couldn't hold the mark.
Yeah, maybe should have held that one, Richard. Just unfortunately lets himself down at times in those sort of situations.
Centre wing, boundary throw in. Stanfield and Steins. Steins tries to take it out of the contest and being held onto, according to the umpire. So Jimmy Steins will take the free kick on centre wing.
Ironical cheers from the Melbourne supporters for their first free kick of the game.
Well, I suppose there's a bit of logic behind that, but only 4 Footscray. Shocking kick by Steins. Gatherers by Tingay. Tingay with his 4th possession, kicks to full forward. Great mark. A sign of a really good player. That mark taken by Gary Lyon. 40 metres out, perhaps a little closer, and pretty well straight in front.
Well, there's no doubt about that. He is a wonderful player, Gary Lyon, the Melbourne captain. 192 centimetres. And Steve Prediuk, 183.
Will get the distance easily. And no problems with the accuracy. Second goal to Melbourne. They are, the Demons. Footscray are 1-4, and of course Gary Lyon has kicked both of Melbourne's goals.
Well, Steve Prediuk had to endure a shocking first quarter last week with Gary Ablett kicking 5 goals in that term. Already he's got his problems with the leading and manoeuvrability of the Melbourne skipper, who is a wonderful focal point.
Melbourne by 4 points, and they go down towards the half-forward line once again. Johnson couldn't take it for the Scrays. Tackled by Smith, could have almost been high. Liberatore taken the ground. And Melbourne fans not happy. Liberatore has the free kick.
Looked a pretty good tackle to me, Sandy.
Good mark on centre wing, taken by Simon Atkins. And the Dogs answer the Gary Lyon goal. He spears it in towards half-forward. Neitz took it on his own. He's done well this year. Goes to the outer side. Dyson a chance. Up towards half-forward. Smith got front position and is going to take a free kick, but maybe a little soft.
Maybe, but at least he's putting himself in the right position to be awarded the free kick.
In front, correct. Into the middle. Chris Grant a long way out. No one in the square, so he drifts it down towards Cameron on half-forward. Leon Cameron tucked in the pocket. He can kick miraculous goals. Not on this occasion. He goes out of bounds on the full.
Well, he has kicked a couple of miraculous goals this year. And that's a similar situation to that one here at the MCG and one out at Waverley, but obviously I think that would have been in the back of his mind, Robbo.
Yeah, but on that occasion he was probably better maybe to duck back onto that right
there's
foot.
no doubt. That's where the percentages are. Definitely better to duck back and get it to the top of the square.
Neitz kicks towards half-back. Steins nearly takes it. It's handball clear. Dyson, can he break clear? Scotty West, good persistence. Liberatore bails it all up there at left half-forward for Footscray, and we'll have a ball up. Umpire officiating here is Brian Sheehan, his fellow men in white, Chris Mitchell and Grant Vernon, for this very important game. Of course, the winner has the opportunity to play the West Coast next weekend, and the loser bows out. So all the incentive to win this match. This is Steins. Lovell getting a few possessions in towards the centre. Viney leaves it for Brett Lovett. Forced to kick with the left foot. Not all that good, but it gets it towards half-forward. It spills now again for Tingay. Tingay's kick, brilliantly marked. Well done, Danny Southern. And he holds up that promising Melbourne attack. His kick just clears there for Croft. Croft wide out towards the wing. Osborne in front, couldn't quite take the mark. Tingay keeps his footing and is rewarded. The little pass, I think it was meant for Viney. Viney is marked at left half forward. He's been called to play on. Goes back onto the left foot. The pass is good. And Lyon, causing the Bulldogs plenty of problems, has marked within scoring distance and an opportunity to kick his third.
Yeah, well, poor old Steve Prediuk, he's had a couple of horror first quarters to endure. He came through it pretty well last week. This man filling in admirably for the loss of Alan Jakovic.
Gary Lyon, again, you would think he could kick the distance, and he's got the perfect score, 3 for 3. Three goals to Gary Lyon. Melbourne lead 20 points to 10.
He has got a magnificent kicking action too, Gary Lyon. 69 goals now for the season. The same as Chris Grant at the other end of the ground. He's also kicked 69. And look at this. Well, not a worry in the world. Kicked right through the ball. He looked very relaxed. Didn't put any extra pressure on himself. Just kicked it naturally.
10 points the margin. Stynes has a free kick out of the middle. The D's opening up with the biggest lead in the game to date. Neitz goes down towards Schwartz and Lyon. The latter has it again in the pocket. Somehow pulls it round his body miraculously. Lovell couldn't take the mark. They go to ground in the square. Tingay! One behind.
What great defence there by Footscray in the square, wasn't it?
Massive arms and legs. Tangled. And eventually one behind the result. 3-3 plays 1-4. So the defence being tested as Smith goes to the outer side. Croft's the target. Goes over the back. Was there a push there, Bernie?
Oh, I thought there was a push in the back of Matthew Croft taken out of the contest, but because no one touched the ball, it's a free kick now to Melbourne.
Lyon couldn't complete the mark. Crediuk and co-defend.
Well, the concerns for Footscray before the game were obviously going to be Pike, Schwartz and Lyon.
And also,
at this stage, it's the way it's going.
And also the ruck contest, Robbo, which is 12 hit-outs at the moment to Melbourne, 2 to Footscray.
See what happens this time. Stynes again just palms it with the left hand. Crediuk's in trouble. Ball spills free. Lovell in towards goal. There's another one. Happy 100th, Andy Lovell. He gets his first and the D's fourth.
He's also one of Melbourne's goal kickers throughout 1994. Andy Lovell now has kicked 28 goals for the season. And they've got plenty of variety up on that forward line with Lovell with 27 goals, 28 goals now. Lyon with 69 goals. Pike has kicked 25 goals. And also David Schwartz. So they've got plenty of goal kickers.
Crediuk down behind play in the hands of the trainers as Melbourne go forward from the centre bounce. Knocked forward by Malloy. Liberatore under a bit of pressure. Can't get past Lovell. Atkins feeds the hand pass out. Hunter throws his right foot at it. Out towards centre wing. Taken by Stephen Phoebe over the top to Lovett. That's Brett Lovett. This is Tingay. A neat little left foot pass finds Viney. Viney outside 50. Kicks into the pocket. Lovell's marked. And he's inside the line. So Andy Lovell will have the chance now to kick his second goal within a minute and a half.
Crediuk doesn't know where he is, I don't think.
Richard Osborne coming off the ground also. So there's a change there. Scott Allen coming on for Footscray.
Lovell shooting for goal from that left forward pocket. What a beautiful kick, hits the post. What have you seen with Crediuk, Sandy?
Well, he's walking around almost looking somewhat concussed or very badly dazed. He was slung to the ground. You can see his head hit the turf pretty hard. He's up and gingerly walking round, but by no means 100% as Smith brings it back into play once again. Big pack of players. Tingay having an influence on this game. They're moving it pretty well. Lovett goes in the middle. Dyson will chip it away at goal. In towards full forward it goes. They're running hot at the moment. Kevin Dyson gets his first.
All the concerns we mentioned before the game. There's Steve Crediuk in the hands of the doctor, the club doctor there, Tim Hurren. But all the concerns we mentioned are falling into place, certainly around the midfield. Melbourne much better in that area. They've got plenty of medium-sized players. They're not worried about one or two. And also in the ruck, the centre breaks in favour of Melbourne also.
Well, on this occasion, Scott West can force it a little bit forward there. Cameron and Norrish. Ball spills now for Glenn Lovett. Handball over the top. Gets it back to Stephen Phoebe. His kick goes towards half forward, but it's well marked by Croft for Footscray. Bernie with Crediuk in a little bit of trouble. Should he have a spell on the bench for 2 or 3 minutes?
Well, they may be worthwhile thinking about putting Keenan Reynolds back to full-back and let Steve Crediuk recover. Robbo, that'll be worthwhile thinking about.
Well, Reynolds was in the game there. He took the mark, got it to Stanfield, who in turn has passed it to Footscray's only goal kicker at this stage, Nigel Kellett. So he has this kick. Osborne having a spell on the bench, but Kellett in the action for his second goal. It's a pretty good kick by Kellett, but it's just off to the left and through for a behind, right on the quarter-time siren. So Footscray, with the job in front of them, Melbourne have outplayed them in the first term. and lead 5-4-34. Footscray 1-5-11.
Down by 23 points, 5-4, plays 1-5. Stanfield goes it alone, but who's going to win it out of the centre? It's locked up, and West can't get away. Another bounce. The winner earns a trip across the Nullarbor. Michael Malthouse is here today with cohorts Tim Jess as Lovett sends them down towards line again.
That's a beautiful kick from Glenn Lovett. He didn't go for too much. He just placed it out in front, allowed Gary Lyon to run onto it.
I mentioned Tim Jepp here and also Stephen Nash with Malthouse looking at these two sides. At the moment they'll be having a close look at the Demons, and in particular Gary Lyon. There's number 4 for Lyon. And there is the West Australian and West Coast Eagles contingent. They'd be impressed, Bernie.
Yes, 4 goals straight now to Gary Lyon. He's making the most of the opportunities, something Footscray didn't do early in the match when they had the ascendancy. But not much Steve Credier could do once Gary Lyon had made the lead, which is, of course, the forward's advantage, getting that couple of metres break.
Well, it's so important, the centre breaks on the big ground. Stanfield gets his right hand to it, but this is Tingay coming up for possession number 9, now possession number 10. Hand pass for Brett Lovett. Lovett back onto his right foot, kicks in towards full forward. At the back, Credier backed himself, went for the mark. Southern's got the football. Now Croft, well tackled. Ball spills for Glenn Lovett. Gets it back to wide to Viney. Now it's Matthew Phoebe. He's a natural left footer. He kicks with the right foot, but misses off to the left. So Melbourne doing the attacking at the start of the second quarter, preparing for an entry onto the playing field is Brad Nicholson for Footscray. So we'll have a close look to see who maybe Crediuk, who looks as though he's coming in the direction of the bench with the Footscray runner, as Smith kicks in to the far side. Good distance with the kick, but the ball punched back. It's gathered by West, looking for Cameron. Cameron needs to get into this play if Footscray to be competitive. West tackled by Viney and he's dumped unceremoniously, and the ball spills over for a throw-in. Still the Footscray runner speaks with Steve Crediuk.
Well, they're not sure what they're doing in defence at the moment, because Rowan Smith's gone back to pick up Matthew Croft now has gone back to pick up Gary Lyon, and Steve Crediuk is on Martin Pike.
From the throw-in, Irving doing it. Lovett at the back, gets the hand pass away to Todd Viney. Viney spears it into Lyon.
And that'll be 50 metres, thank you, Matthew Croft, and a certain goal to Melbourne.
This will be number 5.
5 goals straight it will be now to Gary Lyon as Footscray takes off Steve Crediuk, who was carved up early by Gary Lyon, and coming on is Brad Nicholson, who spent most of 1993 playing at full-back. There's the replay of that incident, and Matthew Croft very late.
Lyon directly in front. The D's are on fire. 5 goals to Gary Lyon. 7-5, plays 1-5.
Well, I don't think it would matter at the moment who was playing full-back, because the ball's been delivered perfectly into that forward line. Gary Lyon leading beautifully, and here it is again. Lyon on the lead, takes the mark. Croft very late, and giving away a 50-metre free penalty there, assuring Melbourne and Gary Lyon of his 5th goal, Melbourne's 7th.
Well, still with 18 minutes remaining in the second term, Gary Lyon has now kicked 5 goals for Melbourne. What are we going to see here? A slaughter or a Footscray fight back? Johnson.
They just cannot get the ball out of the middle at the moment, Robbo, can they? Looking at the ruck hit-outs, 16 hit-outs to 4 there, Steve Crediuk.
Well, I thought he should have been taken from the ground. Immediately they thought he was in a little bit of trouble down there at the other end of the ground in the first term. This is Lovell for Footscray, for Melbourne rather, and Schwartz is marked. Melbourne players running everywhere. Schwartz goes to the goal front, looks for and finds Pike. Not paid, play on, says the umpire. Kicked off the ground there by Nicholson. Steve Wallace under a bit of pressure, gets it back to Nicholson. Nicholson trying to get the ball moving for Footscray. Reynolds back to Nicholson, in trouble. It's chopped off brilliantly by Sean White. His kick into the pocket, this time is safely marked by Martin Pike. He kicks to the front of the goals. Have a guess who's on the end of it. Lyon couldn't take the mark. Hunter for Footscray. Kicks it to a vacant wing area. The kick not all that brilliant. Johnson tries to tap it to Atkins' advantage. Atkins, down goes the Footscray player. A solid bump there by Irving. The ball spills back to Atkins. Atkins' short pass is effective. The mark is taken by Stanfield. He kicks wide. Johnson approaches 50 metres. Can he outrun? He's been tripped. He gets up to his feet. Kicks to the front of the square. The mark taken by Sean White.
Well, I still think Richard Osborne would be a better option up in that forward pocket playing on Sean White.
Neitz takes the mark, then plays on. Melbourne doing everything right at the moment, although Dyson under pressure. Neitz backs him up nicely and goes with a long kick back towards centre wing. Lovett is there, recovers ahead of Hunter, gets the hand pass away, but Viney under pressure. He tried to shrug the tackle, he couldn't, and he's been pinged.
Scott West has been Footscray's best player so far.
Been a real little goer, Scotty West. Wallace towards half forward. Melbourne again with the numbers. Phoebe. And Norris just sees it over the line.
Look, I know it's easy to be critical from up here, but Mark Hunter should have done a lot better with that kick to the forward line. If you bomb away like that, it just sets it up for the defenders.
That's been his problem right through. And that hand pass from Simon Atkins really set up Steve Wallace.
From the throw in. Down towards the forward pocket region. Again, the Demons have the numbers. Phoebe will get away. Setting up the hand pass.
Osborne back on the ground.
Norris, a tumbling punt back towards the half-back line. No one at home but for Melbourne. Wallace, from a standing start, pumps it long in towards full forward. Fisted away from Grant and taken over the boundary line. Throw in Footscray's right forward pocket. They so desperately need a goal.
Well, they can't afford to have Osborne sitting on... Well, there he is. He's off. I said about Osborne. Scotty Allen's been taken off. Osborne is a much better option in that forward line.
They've kicked just the one goal to date. Love it. There is Osborne, as you were talking about him. He's in that pack.
Well, he's a goal-kicking forward. He's not going to kick any goals from the interchange bench.
3 Melbourne blokes tackled him then. Gang tackling. Good sign for the Demons.
From the ball up, Norris gets the hand pass away. Kellett goes in but can't get the football out. Liberatore, was he legged? Melbourne fans think not. The umpire thinks so.
Just having a look at the Footscray defence now. Keenan Reynolds is playing with Gary Lyon. And Nicholson is picking up Martin Pike. There's that free kick against Norwich. He was legged.
Great decision.
Yes, no doubt.
This for the Dogs' second. They desperately want it. He's kicking from 42 metres. Swinging back. Hasn't quite got the legs, and it's belted over for one behind.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Now, that's really where Footscray's let themselves down today, because they've had a number of chances. A shot from goal, 4 goal from about 40 metres or so. They've got to nail those.
Yes, I think Liberatore may have thought that he was kicking with the aid of a bit of a breeze there. He seemed to lay back on it. Now this is Phoebe, Matthew. He's kicked towards the wing. Ball spills now for Johnson. And good work there by Tingay to knock it over. Johnson, just a youngster in the Footscray side, graduating from the under-18 competition. Irving doing the ruck work. Scotty West gets his left foot to it, but not far enough to clear that pack. Glenn Lovett with Shaw ball handling. Free kick to Footscray, indicating a throw in that passage of play against the Melbourne player.
They also, Footscray at this stage, need a lot more out of Leon Cameron, one of their playmakers. He's been really cited.
Well, it looks as though he's being picked up by one of the Phoebe boys.
Stephen Phoebe.
The kick by Stanfield has been well marked.
Well, Matthew
by
Phoebe.
Johnson.
No, Matthew Phoebe's now on Cameron.
Johnson at right half forward. Kicks in towards centre half forward. Marking contest. The ball spills to the back. Melbourne have got plenty of players there. Stephen Phoebe in trouble. Lovell. Ball goes back. Neitz looks very, very casual back there. The kick for Steve Wallace. He couldn't take the mark. Spills now for Rowan Smith. He's harassed very nicely by Malloy.
He's been good with his pressure, Robbo, that boy.
Like to see Malloy and Danny Southern have a bit of a dash at each other. It'll be a good contest.
Melbourne at the moment by 35 points. Irving wins it with the right hand, but picked up by the speedy Kellett. 70 metres out, in towards full forward, and Neitz got a hand to it. Look at that one. from Norwich straight out of bounds on the full. So they'll get a chance.
Very little thought went into that kick from Norwich. It's become an art form to just dribble the ball over the boundary line as a defender, a defensive ploy.
Brad Johnson has the chance to add to the Footscray score. He's on a pretty tight angle though, this youngster.
Umpire would be ridiculous, because if he put him on the proper angle, the kid would be in the front seat of the members.
35 metres out. He's given it a chance, but he's pushed it across the face and through for one behind. So they're doing it in ones at the moment, where they so desperately need goals. 1-7. They 7-5.
And no let up for the Bulldogs, because Jimmy Steins is preparing to come back on.
2 goals, 1-2, 2 behind so far in this quarter. Sean White has it in the back pocket. Grand defender White, kicks towards centre wing. Wallace was held. Kevin Dyson unhappily sees him take the free kick and pass down towards Stanfield. Barry Stanfield. He is the big man department for Footscray today. Penetrating kick up towards full forward. Steins was in front but couldn't take the mark. Lovell shovels it out the back door. Here's an opportunity for Costa. Around his body he goes. They've broken the drought. Finally. Costa gets the Dogs a second.
He's been a good pickup, Kim Costa, this year, and to say that was a badly needed goal would be an understatement at this stage, because the Dogs need about another 5 to get back into the contest.
Well, they're not. I mean, Melbourne have had a lot of the play, but they're only 5 goals in front.
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
not a big margin, is it, in a modern day footy?
No, probably not.
Well, Melbourne leads 7-5 to 2-7. Footscray kicked their second goal about halfway through this quarter. Now they need to really stand up here. Dyson kicks to the front of the goals. Lyon again. Well, it's what Footscray really didn't need. Keenan Reynolds not happy. Not much you can do about it, Keenan. The ball is with Gary Lyon.
And this is the difference. When the ball gets into the Melbourne forward line, Robbo, you can almost certainly put down a goal if Gary Lyon's got hold of that ball. Here's the mark again.
He's a good kick, isn't he? You mentioned that, I think, in the first term, that his kicking action is
very relaxed.
Quite exquisite
right through the ball.
Well, let's not build him up too much, because he's got to finish it off, and it's hit the post, I think, isn't it? No, it's a goal. Well, they must have just squeezed that through for his 6th goal, and Melbourne answer that Footscray goal very quickly. They lead 8-5 to 2-7.
Well, that is a difference, isn't it? Into the Melbourne forward line, they've got a player of the calibre of Gary Lyon to take those marks. He's had plenty of room to work in. Also, Gary Lyon, he's had the room to manoeuvre, the room to lead into. That was probably his worst kick out of his 6, but through the middle anyway.
53 plays at 19. They go forward again through Glenn Malloy. Down towards right half forward. The bouncing ball drifts away from Costa, who gives chase. Slaps it to the right. And I think was hoping to eventually get it out of bounds, but Viney kept it in for the moment. Costa comes storming through again, off to Cameron and now Wallace. Cameron and Wallace have both got to get into the game. He finds Croft just forward of centre. The Dogs need a couple of goals to stay in this game, and Grant takes the mark inside 50.
There's Primke playing on Chris Grant. Did a magnificent job last week when he was moved on to Kernahan, put him out of action.
Chris Grant would dearly love to celebrate his 100th game with a win. Kicks from 52 metres, leans back on a drop punt and has got it.
One goal, 1 now to Chris Grant. And the Bulldogs just hanging in there. And there's a very good mark. He used his body. Primke tried to just nudge him under the ball, but Chris Grant was able to put the one hand up and then drag it in on the second attempt. 70 goals now for the season.
Well, the number 3s on this ground have now kicked 7 goals out of the 11 that have been kicked. 8-5 to 3-7. 10.5 minutes left. Away goes Hopgood. and kicks it away from himself and Robbie West over for a boundary throw-in. Centre wing, outer side. Centre break, certainly favouring the Demons. Well, we were quite wondered about the Footscray ability to contend with Steins and Irving, and there was Steins getting it down to Glenn Lovett, nearly taken by Smith. Well, Steve Wallace under a lot of pressure there. He's being awarded a free kick on centre wing. This kick has to be effective. It is. It's been marked by Atkins. Atkins plays on, kicks to the half-forward area. Good kick. And should that mark be paid? Yes, it is. I don't know whether it should have been.
A little bit iffy, Robbo.
But it's Osborne's ball, right half-forward for Footscray. He's perhaps too far out to score. It's 55 to 60 metres from goal. He's going to kick it to the square. Looks for the big torpedo punt. It's a tumbler into the goal front. Scotty West, back goes Malloy. Grant is underneath all that, and it's a Melbourne free kick. And the Demon fans are ecstatic.
Their third free kick.
As against Footscray's
11.
So he has it at fullback. Kicks towards the half-back line. He was looking for Steins, who slipped as he was about to spring. Sean White also fell to ground. Lovett goes storming through. Still going. Off to Tingay. They may set something up here for Dyson. Hurriedly onto the left foot. He kicks up towards the half-forward line. Schwartz the target. With him is Danny Southern. Schwartz taken out of it. Melbourne still have the numbers, but they run out of room. Throw in with Todd Viney's hand pass going over the line. Under 9 minutes remaining. Schwartz and Southern will contest the throw-in. Schwartz had front spot. Liberatore, Lovett claimed by West. Gets the hand pass away. Back to Lovett it comes again. And a fine smother. Eventually sees the ball over the line. Brad Nicholson applying the smother on that Lovett kick.
Yeah, desperation there by Nicholson. Well done.
Alan Joyce concerned about his charges at this stage. They need a couple more goals if they're going to make a fist of this game in the second half. They're not out of it.
Former Melbourne
catching
champion
up to do.
Greg Wells.
One of your tennis partners.
Stanfield gets front spot. Lovell, his kick is partly smothered, as is the Wallace hand pass. He and Tingay go to ground with the ball. Steve Phoebe over the top of him.
Enormous pressure being applied by Melbourne around midfield. Footscray just have not been able to break clear on any occasion.
28 points is the margin. Steins, deft palm, finishes with Dyson. Centering kick, out comes Lyon and Schwartz, the big guns of the forward line. Reynolds tries to fist it away. Schwartz gives chase over. He says, I'll keep this in play. Oh, he does it beautifully. Proppy little hand pass. He tries to fetch himself. Southern applying the pressure, but he does well to get it away again to Lyon. They've got it inside 50. Kellett defends, gets it away to Reynolds. Footscray out of trouble as Keenan bounces his way across the half-back line. Kicks up towards centre wing. It's fisted down towards White and Osborne. Osborne's kick is over the line. Well, he had taken the ball over the line. There'll be a throw-in on centre wing. Outer side, with 7.5 minutes remaining, Peter Road, owner of the 41 Guernsey, Robbo. Throw in on the outer side. Wallace, short kick.
Wallace forces it forward. This is Richard Osborne. A thumping kick to the goal front. Grant at the back couldn't take the mark. Neats, no, it's Norwich now for the Demons. A little right foot kick along the boundary line. Kellett, can he keep it in? Yes. Stanfield breaks the tackle. Good positive football for Footscray. His kick will be marked in the square by Brad Johnson. Now, what sort of an angle is he going to be put on? Not too bad.
It won't be severe. A clever play over on the wing there by Nigel Kellett, just tapping that ball when it looked like it was going out of bounds to Stanfield.
And Stanfield was quite determined, wasn't he? Johnson kicks the goal. So Footscray, with consecutive goals, their third and fourth, and they trail 4-7 to 8-5, so still a ball game here at the MCG.
Yes, it's not out of the question by by any means at the moment, as we see Stanfield burst through. It could have gone to either Croft or Johnson. But anyway, Johnson, who's been a very good first-year player for Footscray, finished it off.
22 points the margin, 6.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Lovell's kick down towards the half-forward line, cut off by Rowan Smith. A hand pass away to Danny Southern, who sneaks away from Schwartz. He goes up towards centre wing, and Scotty West. They've got the players now. Can they get a run on? Up to half forward. Grant comes flying over the top. Stanfield couldn't take it cleanly at the first attempt. Does so at the second and kicks a goal. Back come the Duggies. Oh, a big passage of play by Barry Stanfield.
Well, he's been involved in the last 2 goals, Barry Stanfield. And now Footscray, they've really bounced back into this contest. 16 points the advantage now to Melbourne after they'd really dominated for about 1 1/4. Well, Barry Stanfield, yeah, Robbo, just give me the sign there that Stanfield's playing a very good game and being involved in those last 2 goals.
Just a very clever kick in the finish too by Stanfield. Steins tackled by Atkins. Ball spills for Brett Lovett. Goes to half forward, and Southern, is he rewarded? No. But he goes after it with determination. And Mark Hunter's well tackled. Well done there by Rowan Smith. Gets it to Reynolds. Reynolds gets it out towards the wing. Great effort by Norrish. A little bit too strong there for Johnson. The ball now forced into the hands of Todd Viney. The kick to half forward. And a free kick is being awarded against Pike, I would suggest. And it will go to Nicholson.
Gee, it was wonderful defensive work there by Brad Nicholson, how he threw his body in to punch that ball away. But great desperation, put his body on the line.
Well, he's been very determined since he's come onto the ground. The kick out towards the wing. And holding on, I can't believe it. Where did you pluck that one from?
I thought he had both hands in the air, Stanfield. What was he holding on with?
Well, he's a genius. He's got 4 arms. The kick by Steins into the pocket has been marked by David Schwartz as Melbourne make a change.
And coming off is Stephen Phoebe, and on for Melbourne is number 22, and that's Jeff Hilton.
Oh, important here, Lyon. Oh, just missed. And Footscray fans with their hearts in their mouths as Gary Lyon makes his first blemish as far as goal kicking is concerned. He's now got 6-1.
Dean Irving sitting on the interchange bench at the start of the game. Both quarters in the ruck. Changes halfway through for Jimmy Steins.
Critical stage of the game now, under 5 minutes left. Nicholson was there, couldn't take it. Atkins gets the hand pass away to Wallace. They're starting to run. West has been one of their best. Look at this pass in towards Grant. No mark taken, and now
Grant is in trouble.
Grant is down behind play.
He got hit very hard, Chris Grant.
He's not moving, he's in real strife. Tingay takes it on centre wing. Stanfield chases, but Tingay gets his kick up towards the forward line. Lovett is there, couldn't take the mark. Schwartz also, and over the line, and still behind play, down on his back is Chris Grant.
Well, he really did a great job here, and unfortunately...
Now, how come he didn't get a free kick there? He was crunched, a player was coming head on at him. If it had been an ordinary marking contest, he would have got a free kick, as Steins did down here.
Atkins was given a free kick here. The ball will come back.
They've got the stretcher going out to take Chris Grant
they've got
off.
to stop the play then, don't they?
They must stop the play. Surely they must stop the play. I
Yes.
think the umpires are stopping it now.
Second umpire has just come forward and said, let's hold play.
Well, this is tragic for Chris Grant, playing game number 100.
Well, he seemed to be sandwiched between 2 players.
Well, Neitz coming back was the one that did the damage, I think, Sandy.
But he had to. He did have to convict himself, didn't he? I mean,
he did. There's no doubt about it.
Here it is again, Robbo.
Oh, goodness. He was met very heavily there by David Neitz. And that's a tragedy for Footscray. Robert West also being interchanged. Scott Allen coming on for him. But that's one of Footscray's trump cards. Off the ground there. He is unconscious, I would think.
There's another angle,
and of course no free kick for that, but he's only been knocked out. But if he had been legged, touched on the leg, it would have been a free kick. But
well, the big crowd here have just seen it replayed on the huge
cannot believe it. I cannot believe some of the decisions. And
you can hear the oohs and ahs. There's Chris Grant, unfortunately.
He's unconscious, Chris Grant. Champion young player.
And what a way to have to remember your 100th game. Nevertheless, play goes on. It's on centre wing. Primke tries to get through, loses the football. Liberatore, as usual, down there, burrowing in, trying to get it out. Todd Viney as well.
And you just never know how this affects maybe the side that's trailing. It could lift them, and the side that's leading may affect them too.
Under 4 minutes left. Lovett marks. Glenn Lovett floats a drop punt up towards the half-forward line. Schwartz!
Great mark.
Controlled it initially with the one hand and did it beautifully. Passes into the pocket. Wanted line. Rowan Smith tidies up for Footscray. They defend here. Now they've got some space here. Barry Stanfield can run. Viney's the only one within Cooey. He can go over the top here, lure Viney, but no, he takes the kick instead, and he kicks it wide. It may not have been the right option as Sean White pushes towards the boundary line and safety.
Well, he completely wasted that, Barry Stanfield. He could have drawn the man there, Todd Viney, popped it over the top to Leon Cameron. 25 hit-outs to Melbourne, 7 to Footscray.
Boundary throw in left half forward for the Bulldogs. Steins gets it out, not far enough. This is Wallace. Cameron now.
Critical fumble, Robbo.
Steins gets it clear, not far enough. This is Scotty West doing a terrific job for the Bulldogs. Stanfield, this time the handball for Callett. He can't outrun Sean White. Croft gets it. Stanfield, kick it quick. He's down. Matthew Phoebe, but this is Osborne. Osborne for Footscray. He's hook kick to the front of the square. Oh, West up high. Goal kick by Johnson. Bullies alive. Second goal kick by Brad Johnson. And that's what I was talking about with Chris Grant off the ground. No Ilya Grigging, no Scotty Wine, and the Bullies fire up and get their 6th goal. They trail by just 11 points.
Oh, this is fantastic. Unfortunately, they've lost their trump card on the forward line. Osborne now will be doing their full forward leading. But the Bullies 11 points and with plenty of spirit.
11 points the margin, and we've got a ball game. Melbourne too have a free kick in the middle. Steins off to Andy Lovell. He floats a punt kick up towards Schwartz and Southern. One-hander again!
Good strength there shown by the big fella, David Schwartz. He helped Southern out of the contest. He's a big boy, David Schwartz, playing at centre-half forward, 195 centimetres.
7 marks.
7 marks, that's terrific at centre-half forward.
And maybe the quick answer. Bends it back. David Schwartz gets his first goal, and the Demons steady at 9-6 to Footscray 6-7.
And a beautiful kick for goal. There he is, body on body. And Danny Southern's no weakling, I can tell you that. We're just holding him off there. In beautiful position to put the one hand up there and trap it with the second bite.
That is okay. You can hold a player out with one arm.
Yeah, it was body on body.
Fair enough. Ruck contest. Steins tries to get it clear. Dyson to Tingay. Tingay's quick kick out towards half forward. High bounce gathered by Schwartz, starting to have an impact. His kick is magnificent. Lyon is marked in the right forward pocket for Melbourne. He's kick 6, Gary Lyon. And if he can kick this in the first half of a final, 7 out of 10 would certainly be a match-winning performance at this stage. Lyon's kick is close, but misses. 6 goals, 2 to the Melbourne captain. Robert Di Domenico on the boundary line.
Yes, Rob. But the good news is that Chris Grant is conscious, and the doctor said that they will assess it at half-time.
Well, that is good news that he's conscious. Smith brings it out to Reynolds, who floats it towards Hunter.
Had hospital written all over it.
Stands his ground and was thankful that no one came charging at him. He kicks towards centre wing. Now it's up to the Dogs again to try and score in the last minute of this first half. They have closed the gap, but they would like to close it even further.
Cameron's been moved down to that forward position alongside Richard Osborne.
The ball on centre wing. Steins and Croft, won by the former, but taken away by the Dogs. Atkins passes up towards the half-forward flank area, and Stanfield takes a mark. He's had a very good quarter. Oh, Bazza, it's a little wide towards West. West recovers well. He's almost back to the centre, though. He gets clear of Tingay, goes back onto the left foot and pumps it long. They need a mark inside the last 30 seconds. Cameron at the back has been desperately quiet. Around he goes, but it's partly smothered. Play on will be the call. The kick is high. Osborne could mark it. 1, 2 Brands couldn't hold it. Neither could Johnson, and Dyson should clear for Melbourne. Swings onto the left foot, comes up towards the half-back line. Tingay is there, run towards the boundary line, but no!
Great
tackle by West, and locked.
A wonderful tackle, tackled at the hips, tied him right up.
Only 6 seconds remaining. Someone's got to take a mark for Footscray to half forward. They can't. Jimmy Stynes rocked like at half-back. And he saves it. Saves Footscray from scoring again as the half-time siren sounds. So Melbourne in that quarter booted 4 goals, but Footscray hit back strongly. They outscored them, kicking 5. They did have their chances to make it even more. But what a first half it's been for the man in your picture, Gary Lyon. He's kicked 6 goals, 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and has been off target a couple of times. He's kicked 6 goals too for the half. Scotty West wearing number 14. Bernie has been quite sensational. 14 kicks and 3 hand passes.
Yeah, Footscray's best player by a street. There he is, number 14. Only a young player, but doing a magnificent job. We saw him lay that tackle there on Steve Tingay, just tied him up completely. But it was a good fighting quarter by Footscray. They looked down and out at quarter time. Things not going their way. They weren't winning the ball out of the centre. They just have to concede that Jimmy Stynes or Dean Irving will win the hit-outs. It's 26-7. They must do the roving in that sort of situation.
And of course they lost Chris Grant as players and coaches leave the arena at half-time. 3 goals the difference. Melbourne a 9-7, 61. Footscray 6-7, 43.
I would think Footscray, if they can certainly hold out the Melbourne 2 key marking targets on that forward line, Lyon and Schwartz.
Well, let's see what happens in this all-important third quarter. Melbourne go into it leading by 3 on half-back. Now he goes wide to the outer side and Rowan Smith.
Well done, good running.
Over the top he goes to Kim Costa. Footscray have it on the outer side of the ground. On centre wing, Southern in front, but belted away from him.
Looks like Southern may be playing further afield. Is he still at centre half back on? No, he's on the forward line.
Forward down there on Sean White. From the throw-in. Caught was Viney, tried to get a left foot chip at the ball, but was unsuccessful. Obst onto the ground, gets the hand pass away towards Tingay. Tingay is caught.
Great tackle there by Tony Liberatore, the best tackler in the competition.
Just like a vice, isn't it? There was absolutely no way out.
And if we ever forget that he's the best tackler in the competition, Bernie will keep telling us
all the
about
time.
it.
I love his play.
Sean White defending, a little chip to Grant. Is he going to complete the recovery into full forward, and Southern marks?
Well, I think he may have played on, but I think there'd be a free kick there anyway, because I think he was shoved in the back there. Oh, he's a fearsome-looking customer, isn't he, Malloy?
As Robbo suggested earlier, if Malloy should meet Danny Southern,
we might see a bit of it this half.
It would be an interesting prospect. Danny for goal, and he gets it.
Sandy with Southern up there on the forward line. Reynolds is playing in the key defensive position for Footscray. At centre-half back, picking up David Schwartz.
Now there's just 12 points in it.
And this was good play by Chris Grant. He didn't blaze away at goal. He saw the opportunity there to pass it. He definitely played on, but there was a push in the back, as we saw there, Robbo, by Malloy on Danny Southern. And Southern kicked only his 4th goal for the season.
9-7 play, 6-7. Don't forget that Melbourne led 5-4 to 1-5 and then 9-7 to 6-7. Irving and Stanfield. Ball spills for Hunter. Hunter gets an effective kick across his body. Neitz is smothered. Another good sign for the Bulldogs. And they're rewarded with a free kick.
Well, this should be just about 50. The umpire has blown the whistle. These 2 Melbourne players just attacking Richard Osborne.
Play on call. Wide for Callett. Callett's kick into the pocket. Back goes Neitz. Melbourne under siege. Johnson, hand pass. Oh, that's a throw, isn't it? No. West gets away with it. To Southern. Southern's kick. Now Grant. And he's been penalised, Chris Grant. into the back there of Primke.
Primke to take it on the last line of defence. Goes to the outer side again. Irving in front. Away to Obst. Spent considerable time on the bench. Schwartz comes charging out into the middle. Had it for a moment, then lost it, but may regain it. Spins into trouble. The ball spills free. Lovett gets it out. Melbourne under siege now. Glenn Lovett on centre wing. Tries to get away from Wallace, then pulls it round his body up towards right half forward. Pike for a diving mark was going to be paid. Martin Pike. Century kick in towards half forward. Was there a push there on Reynolds? He wanted the free kick. He's not going to get it, however. Instead, Lovett from a standing start. Pumps it in towards full forward. Over the top it goes for the quick reply. Brett Lovett gets his first, and again, we're out to a 3-goal margin.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a steadier there for Melbourne. They needed that because just to maintain that margin with Footscray charging in, we saw that diving mark from Pike out on in front of the member stand.
Quite a degree of difficulty.
10-7 play, 7-7. Melbourne lead again by 3 goals, and they go surging forward. They're answering with effectiveness and use of the football. It's with Gary Lyon once again.
Well, they've got Steve Treadle back on Gary Lyon. I think maybe I would have left Nicholson with that task in the second half.
Gary Lyon from about 50 metres. Oh, what a kick. What a magnificent kick by Lyon. It's his 7th goal.
Gee, it's a big effort. Big effort.
If you had to rely on any man to win a game for you with a kick after the siren, apart from Billy Brownless, I would have this man, Gary Lyon, the Melbourne skipper, because this is a magnificent kicking action, totally relaxed, kicks right through the ball and split the middle.
And a 60-metre kick there for goal by Gary Lyon. So the Bulldogs being thrown out, the challenge. Here goes Matthew Phoebe, tackled by Hunter, but the ball in towards full forward, taken by Krediuk. Goes after it once again. This is Pike. Hand pass, Glenn Lovett taking from Schwartz. Glenn Lovett shot for goal. May have been smothered off the boot, was it? It's through from behind anyway. And it'll be awarded to Glenn Lovett for the Demons. And a bit of little how-do-you-do behind play there between two of the AFL's harder customers, Mark Hunter and Todd Viney.
Rowan Smith to bring it back into play. Footscray must make their move. Wallace marks unattended.
A danger period now for the Dogs.
Yep. Almost down to half back. He kicks in towards centre wing. But Neitz was also unattended, and he takes the mark and he spears it in towards half forward, and pinpoint accuracy finding Lovett. Glenn Lovett. Inside 50, out comes the charging Schwartz. That is mark number 8. To the pocket, this holding on. It's going the way of Melbourne.
Well, they must make that move, get Krediuk off line, put Nicholson on him.
Gary Lyon for goal number 8.
Footscray making a change too, with Matthew Croft limping off the ground and Anthony Darcy about to come on. There's that holding decision, well, I don't think it even impeded him, did it? Not at all.
Pretty ordinary free kick.
They're making a change. Footscray as Gary Lyon shoots for number 8 and gets it. When we talk about mighty finals performances, the way Gary Lyon's going, we're going to be talking about this one for quite a while, Bernie.
Yeah, well, he's been magnificent as we see this free kick again in replay. Had the break. It certainly didn't impede him in any way whatsoever, but he threw the arms out there just to make sure that the umpire saw it. And Matthew Croft looks like he's damaged a left hamstring.
Croft on the sidelines and in trouble. Now boundary riders will check him out. Again, the margin out to 31 points. Pressure again intense on the Dogs. Atkins applies the tackle. The ball spills free. Malloy gets it away, however. Now they've got a chance through Neats to go up towards half forward. Schwartz spoiled by Reynolds, but in so doing he's given away a free kick.
I think he grabbed his Guernsey there in that attempted spoil there, Keenan Reynolds.
So he's copping plenty, David Schwartz, but he's got all the answers. What an attack with he and an informed skipper up forward. Speak of the devil. This will be for number 9. And I think we're going to be heading for the record books the way he's kicking for goal. Well, he elects to go short into the pocket, and that was really untidy.
It's the first time he's let himself down today, Gary Lyon.
He and Schwartz attempting to combine again. Now let's have a look, Bernie, and see what happened to Quell. Bang, he grabs the back of the leg.
He's had hamstring problems in the past, Matthew Croft.
Rowan Smith's kick is across the face of goal. Scotty West was Footscray's best by a mile in the first half, but Tingay irons him out in no uncertain fashion and causes the ball to spill free and go over the line. Fine tackle. 31 points the margin. Irving got a hand to it. Viney pulls it round his body. He wants his captain. Fisted away from him. Down to Leon Cameron. He too is well tackled, I thought. The umpire says no.
The umpire didn't see it that way. He awarded a free for a push in the back.
What did you think, Bert?
I thought the tackle was pretty good.
Oh, Reynolds has come undone, maybe. Lovett applies a tackle. They've still got possession. Phoebe, this is Matthew Phoebe, floating kick to Lyon, and he marks directly in front, 25 metres out.
Leon Cameron, a crucial error there with that pass to Keenan Reynolds. You go for that short stuff, the kicks and the skill has to be spot on. He's had a very poor afternoon, Leon Cameron. And there's the mark again to Gary Lyon. As the big fella Dean Irving comes off to be replaced by Jimmy Steins. And Gary Lyon lining up now for goal number 9.
Kicking from 30 metres. Directly in front. He floats it through. Well, this is extraordinary, Bernie. He's kicked 3 in each quarter.
Yeah, what a champion, the Melbourne skipper there, Gary Lyon. Here we see the little mistake there. It really had to be spot on. He gave the ball to a slow player. No pace there, Keenan Reynolds to break clear. And clever centering kick there by Matthew Phoebe. Gary Lyon just threatening now. The best is 12. Kicked by Norm Smith against Footscray.
86 plays 49. Oh, Schwartz, look at that! That was magic! Lyon couldn't quite finish it off with a mark, but he's got the free kick. And what about the spin by David Schwartz out of the middle? His teammates are swarming to him and saying well done on a mighty effort.
I'm calling him Rudolph after that one. Rudolph Nureyev.
Well, this is why. Look at that.
Look at the pirouette there.
Nureyev couldn't do that.
Magnificent. He did that last week, the blind turn. It's become a part of his game, a major part.
Lyon for number 10. From 40 metres, he starts it right in this crowd.
Well, Sandy, if I have been doing a bit of rustling while you've given the vocal cords a bit of a workout.
Just look at this,
David Schwartz, a terrific performance by this young player. But Gary Lyon has a goal-scoring achievement of 11 to better this first semi-final individual goal-scoring record, which is held by Harry Soapy Valance from Carlton.
Well, they've got it in attack once again. Obst, floating kick, finds Lovett inside 50. Brett Lovett kicked a goal earlier in the quarter. Gary Lyon just points to the goal and says, don't worry about us. But he does. He chips into the pocket and he's found him again.
Well, Southern's now at full-back picking up Gary Lyon. Stu Credit on the bench. And the man that I would have been playing on him, Brad Nicholson, is picking up Martin Pike.
So Soapy Valance booted 11.
In 1931, 8 goals to Collins of Carlton, Toomey of Collingwood and Wade of Geelong.
Here's number 10 if he's accurate. And he is! Oh, this is some finals feat by Gary Lyon.
Yeah, what a performance by Gary Lyon. He is a champion playing at full forward for the Melbourne side. Now 76 goals for the season. And there it is, the lead and the pass, perfect. It could have gone to either Lyon or Schwartz.
Well, they've made a mess of this after Footscray kicked the first goal of the third quarter. Now Melbourne have kicked 8 on the run. So in the centre, the Footscray boys now with some pride at stake. Certainly there, Barry Stanfield having a little bit of a take with the umpire as Steins gets it to Tingay. Tingay towards full forward. Schwartz swooping on it as Lovell. Lovell's kick to the goal front, punched away for a rush behind to Melbourne, and that's a bit of an anticlimax for the Demons. It's been an absolute avalanche at that goal scoring end of the ground in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Sean White in the picture there, running back with Richard Osborne. So those players have come from the Footscray forward line. This is Smith, the kick in. Goes to the 50-metre line or just inside it, where Hunter has taken the mark for the Bulldogs. Mark Hunter's kick is short. Obst, good player Obst, out wide to Glenn Lovett. Has a look and then delivers to the front of the goals. And back there taking a good strong mark is Danny Southern for Footscray. He runs away from the goal square. Lyon holding his right hamstring.
Yeah.
And Southern's kick bounces over the boundary line on the full. So the free kick will be taken out there for Melbourne by Stephen Tingay. Gary Lyon, 10 goals, the goal scoring record by an individual, Soapy Valance of 11. Tingay's kick looks for Lyon, nearly got it too. Spills out of his right hand over for a boundary throw in as Gary Lyon just stretching a little bit and running into his teammate David Schwartz.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything too serious, maybe a little bit of a twinge in the hamstring, but if there is any danger, I better put him in cotton wool for next week.
Look at that for a kick. Oh, what a goal by Brett Lovett. They can do no wrong. Lovett gets his second for the quarter, and the D's now are turning this into one-way traffic.
That's what we spoke about, the danger of a rout early in the game, when Melbourne really rocked away early in the game in that first quarter. But now it's been all Melbourne after Danny Southern kicked that early goal. It's been all one-way traffic, Melbourne dominating out of the middle.
Six goals to 1 so far this quarter. Lovett gets it out towards Dyson. It's out in front of Kevin Dyson. He tries to get away from Scotty West, then feeds off the hand pass towards Hopgood, who chips in towards half forward. No one able to take it cleanly. Nicholson gets caught. Cry of ball from the Demon supporters. Schwartz to Dyson. Another one towards Lovett. He's still outside 50. They're throwing it around at Gay Abandon. Tingay's going to get a set shot from 46 metres. He has kicked it. What a quarter of football from Melbourne.
A 7-goal quarter by the Demons. 9-7 at half-time. They are now 16-10. Here we see a lovely little balk there by Stephen Tingay. And the goal umpire did not move, right over the top of him. So a wonderful performance by the Demons in this third quarter.
Nice way to celebrate your 100th game.
And Cameron on the bench.
16-10 to 7-7. Stanfield still trying very hard for the Bulldogs. Kellett in the box seat overruns it. Hopgood making it difficult and eventually holding it up for Melbourne. Nearly out to centre wing. Scotty West, the last two, picking himself up. West 14 kicks and 4 handballs. He'd had 14 and 3 at half time, so he's been fairly quiet, but a lot of Footscray boys with him. This is Brett Lovett. Seems to have plenty of time. Kicks towards half forward. The ball spills now for Pike. Pike gets it to Glenn Lovett. A little bit too fierce with the hand pass. Glenn Lovett gets out of trouble. Then hand passes, but it's Reynolds for Footscray. Kicks back towards the wing. The bouncing ball a little awkward for Osborne. And Malloy quite content to allow it to trundle over for a throw-in. And Dipper on the boundary line, Matthew Croft.
Yes, Robbo, as suggested, Matthew Croft is in pain with his left hamstring, heavily bandaged, and also Krinyuk is off the ground feeling quite ill, so they've only got one interchange to muck around with.
Well, danger all around now for the doggies.
Atkins inside 50 for the Bulldogs. They've kicked just one goal for the quarter.
And the other one,
rather rare to see it down in that zone.
The other one, Sandy, Chris Grant can't be feeling all that well after that heavy clash.
No. As the hit-outs, as we've seen them unfold.
The same thing happened last week. It was 43 hit-outs to 20 last week
8-0
in the game against Geelong. So it's really mattered more at ground level today, Sandy, because they just haven't been able to get it away from that centre square.
Well, Michael Malthouse and his
Not enough
West
from
Australian
Atkins.
counterparts are here, and they'll have plenty to think about this week before the D's make the trip across the Nullarbor. Johnson, under real pressure, gets a snap away from behind.
2 goals, 3 now to Brad Johnson. And Steve Krediuk. This boy's been impressive, Malloy, a late inclusion in the side after Sean Charles withdrew.
Well, his kick in goes to the outer side, looking out there for Obst, but too far for that player. And Allen, in trying to intercept, has kicked it out on the full. So the free kick will be taken by Obst between left back pocket and left half back flank. He's allowed to run on, which is not all that good defensive work by the Footscray player. Schwartz takes basically a one-hander on centre wing. That's a bit of arrogance, and then brushes the tackle from Atkins and plays on, kicks in towards the centre. Beautifully weighted kick. Lovell marks in front of Rowan Smith. Pretty well in the middle of the MCG. Andy Chopper Lovell for Melbourne. Kicks to the right half forward area. Out here is Jimmy Steins. The ball will sit for him. He can go in short. And a lovely little pass. Puts it on the chest of Pike. Pike can go short, but he can kick to Lyon. Goes in towards half forward, but reading it nicely was Costa, and he gets back to chop it off for Footscray. Kicks it across the full back line with the markers taken out there in the back pocket by Danny Southern. Sunshine just streaming down here now at the MCG. We had rain a little earlier in this third term. That kick out towards the wing, the mark has been awarded to Andy Lovell for Melbourne. 16-10 plays 7-8. Remembering that Footscray kicked the first goal of the third term, and there's been 7 unanswered goals kicked by the Demons, of which most of them have been kicked by Gary Lyon. This is Tingay. Tingay from the 50-metre line. Lyon's got it again, and a chance to equal that individual goal-scoring record of the first semi-final.
Alan Joyce looks remarkably calm.
Well, what can you do? Certainly the numbers against him. He started the game without Wine and Grigich. And Lyon goes for goal. He may have missed. He has. So a bit of an anticlimax. 10 goals, 3 now to the Melbourne captain. And still we can't get a smile from the coach's box for Melbourne. Gary Dempsey looking resplendent in his baseball hat and bluey jacket.
Keenan Reynolds to bring it back into play. The ball has spent most of the quarter down at this end of the ground. West under pressure. A poor kick straight to Obst, who's come onto the ground and picked up plenty of touches. Across he comes to Steins. There's red and blue running everywhere. Dyson from 50 metres to the line, but it's a goal. Kevin Dyson has booted a couple of boomers. Both at that end of the ground. Well, we were talking about a rout earlier in the day, but I'm afraid we're looking at one in this quarter.
Yes, that's right, Sandy. It's just been all one-way traffic. Very little Footscray can do around midfield. Jimmy Steins dominating the ruck against Stanfield.
The ball still in the centre. This is Osborne for Footscray. Kicks it across his left shoulder towards half forward. No mark. West in trouble. Gets the handball away. Norwich cleanly to Todd Viney, but the ball spills back for West. West in towards full forward. Grant. Can he gather that awkward bouncing ball? Primke is onto him.
Free kick.
And Grant interfered with by the Melbourne defender. Primke can't understand it, but the umpire in the picture there, Chris Mitchell, has awarded the free kick to Chris Grant.
Chris Grant, I think, even the fact that he's out there is quite amazing after that knock that he received in that first half.
Grant from the left forward pocket, only about 25 metres from goal. Kicks for goal and puts it through. So a good kick there by the Footscray player Chris Grant for his second goal. But it really is a drop in the ocean. The Demons 17-11, Footscray 8-8.
Let's have a look at the free kick again. Maybe just a little touch there over the shoulder by Primke. A little touch again. There's probably a bit of manhandling all the way through.
Well, Grant, you mentioned, has done a terrific job, but when you're knocked out, that may have upset his balance in that situation. But still, he was able to kick the goal. Very important for Footscray. Liberatore's underneath all that, as he normally is at centre bounce contests. Terrific little player, Tony Liberatore.
Their on-ballers haven't had a lot of it, though, have they, today, Robbo? You know, Libba's had 5 and 6, 5 kicks and 6 handballs. Atkins has been very quiet with 8 and 4.
Under 4.5 minutes remaining. White tries to tap it to the advantage of Dyson. Now he needs support and he gets it. Needs his kick. Up towards half forward. Schwartz and Southern neither could take it. Hunter could have been held. Wants to play on. But now is called to go back. Mark Hunter goes across the ground. Pike gives chase. But away goes Costa. From centre wing up towards Kellett on the right half forward. He trapped that nicely. Can he get even further forward? Got to get around Hopgood. Can't do so cleanly, but does get a kick up towards Osborne. Not in front, however. And Sean White defends. He's playing in front.
Well, that's all the ducking and weaving by Kellett. The full forward goes one way or the other, and then his kick falls in short.
Todd Viney. Former South Australian. Coming from the Adelaide Hills. Neats in that pack. Reynolds almost tried to sock it off the ground. Obst at the bottom. So too well, you'd expect to find Liberatore there.
Obst a similar type player too. Good close in, very good close in.
So the D's by almost 10 goals. Neats gets the hand pass away again. Out of trouble they come. Dyson comes over the middle. He can kick a ball to Schwartz. Couldn't take the mark. Lovell to do the roving work in front. Gets the hand pass away. Over the top goes Glenn Lovett. In towards the pocket. Which way will it bounce? Away from Gary Lyon and over the boundary line in Melbourne's left forward pocket. Well, Demon fans can certainly smile. Leading by almost 10 goals in this knockout final. Schwartz beautifully with one hand. He's better than Uraev. Lovett has kicked his third for the quarter.
Gee, that's a big statement. Better than Uraev.
Uraev wasn't good at football.
Wasn't a bad dancer.
Well, he did that last week, didn't he? The big fella, Schwartz. He was a magician at this out of the ruck last week. He took it, had about 3 bounces and kicked the goal. Uncontested.
That was goal of the day.
That was genius, that stuff as well. Just body on body. He's just been too strong also for Danny Southern today.
Terrific vision again too to get the ball to Brett Lovett. Stein's doing a magnificent job in the centre. Stanfield manfully for Footscray. The ball kicked wide. Bouncing awkwardly in front of the players and eventually knocked over by Rowan Smith for a boundary throw-in. Well, Melbourne led by 18 points at half-time. We now have a margin of, 63 points? And there's still 2.5 minutes left in the third term. So a magnificent third term by the Demons.
Well, Cameron doing the ruck work there against Jimmy Steins.
Well, the free kick will go to the Melbourne player Steins as Cameron gingerly takes his feet. Steins runs on and kicks efficiently to the 50-metre line. Schwartz in front, the ball with Stanfield. Malloy, good tackle.
It was a good tackle.
Now
Robbo.
it's with Darcy for Footscray. Darcy's kick wide out towards the wing, punched away by Hopgood from Robbie West. Handball
4 to 1
over
there,
the top
Robbo.
by Brett Lovett. Steins, look at this. They're sharing it beautifully. Brett Lovett getting kicks at will. Down towards half forward, it's taken by Glenn
Did you
Lovett.
see that out on the wing? It was 4 Melbourne players to 1 Footscray player.
He plays on now and heads in towards the scoring zone. Towards Gary Lyon. No mark taken. In the pocket. Viney. A little centering chip. It's a clever kick. And Lovell takes the mark. Directly in front. Celebrating his 100th game. Both he and Steve Tingay, 100 today, and interestingly enough, both kicked the winning goals in their first game. So Lovell, from 30 metres out, just pops one over the top for another goal to the Demons. 2 goals to Andy Lovell, both kicked at this end of the ground. This has been a memorable quarter of football by the Demons. 19-11 to 8-8.
10 goals 4 they've kicked this quarter, the Demons. A huge quarter of football. Andy Lovell chipping in there, kicking his second goal. He kicked one in the first quarter as well.
Miserable scoreboard if you're a Footscray supporter, but terrific stuff if you're a Demon fan. Stanfield kicks the ball forward for Footscray. Inside 50 metres, it goes past Grant and Primke. First back there was Hopgood. And he's clearing kick. Goes over for a throw in about 45, maybe 40 metres from the Footscray goal. Left forward pocket for the Bulldogs. Only multiple goal scorers for the Bulldogs, Chris Grant and Brad Johnson with 2 apiece. Melbourne trying to clear the ball from the back pocket area, and the umpire will call for a bounce. Gary Lyon, 10 goals. 3 goals to Brett Lovett and 2 each to Dyson and Andy Lovell. Steins gets it down but can't break clear. Stanfield goes in with the fist to try and punch the ball clear, but Jimmy Steins not happy there. Nothing much really. A pack of about 16 or 18 players around the ball. And again, Steins tries to take it. Viney. Kick clear, no, not effective there by Johnson, and the umpire calls for a bounce once again. Just seconds left in this third term, which has been all Melbourne. Footscray kicked the first goal of this third quarter. Melbourne answered with 10 goals, and the Bulldogs got a late goal, and they may get another one. Liberatore's shot misses, and off to the left. So that could possibly be the last score of the third term. 19-11 plays 8-9, and the time remaining just 3 seconds. This is Malloy for Melbourne. Kicks into the members' side and does it very nicely. Finds Tingay. So Tingay can notch up another statistic, a mark, but at 3/4 time.
Standing ovation for Melbourne.
And a magnificent third term for Melbourne. They kick 10-4 to Footscray's 2-2. And they lead 19-11, 125 to Footscray 8-9-57.
And here we go, the bounce to start the final term. Irving wins it, Lovett down towards half forward. Uraev couldn't quite take it cleanly. He got a hand to it. They surge it inside 50. Costa tries to chop it off. He does so and gets a kick back towards the centre. Fisted down by Neitz towards Tingay. Had it for a moment. Sits over it. May almost be pinged. Comes out towards Obst. He floats it clear. Melbourne looking at the percentage game again. Lovett caught. Well tackled. The ball spills free. There's a bit of a Barney on behind play. Someone's just taken their jumper off. Irving. It's just saying, look, don't worry about that, Kim. Have a look at the scoreboard. Inside Melbourne's attacking zone. Irving wins it, but can't take it away. West is sandwiched.
It's probably typical of Melbourne today, the way they've got the numbers to the fall of the ball, similar to what they did last week against Carlton. Every time the ball hit the ground, it was always Melbourne that got the ball last week and again today.
Bernie, you looked at the third quarter stats, 86 possessions to Melbourne to 42. You don't often see one team dominate to that extent in a quarter. Twice as many. Cameron is kicked to the goal square, knocked away by Sean White. That's a mark.
Great mark.
Got his left hand onto it and brought it to the ground. Hand pass away to Lovell. Lovell's kick out towards half-back. The mark is taken by Primke. Good running provided there by Norrish, and backs himself. He's got a bit of pace. Kicks with the right foot, up towards half-forward. Punched away there by Reynolds from Pike. Ball spills now for Hilton. Now it's Dyson. His kick, oh, it's nearly taken by Lyon. Taken to the ground. Hilton again. Back onto the right foot. Pike, can he get the hand pass clear? He can. Irving, shot for goal by Dean Irving. There's another Melbourne goal. Dean Irving kicks his first goal. Melbourne get their 20th early in the last quarter. They're 20-11 to 8-9, and the all-time high score in the first semi-final, 25-17, kicked by Richmond, is in danger.
There certainly is, Robbo. There's no doubt about that. Melbourne doing as they like here. The hand pass there coming from Martin Pike, and the big fella showing a fair bit of skill there, just bending down to pick the ball up and kicking his second goal for the year.
Back in the middle once again. Lovett applies a strong tackle. Neitz is away, but the whistle has sounded. Kim Costa picks himself up after that tackle. They sort themselves out for another bounce. Gary Lyon, 10 goals to date. In a wonderful performance. Melbourne will cross the Nullarbor and play the West Coast Eagles in a preliminary final next week. Stanfield. His co-big men, Ilya Grigic. There's a good mark taken by Richard Osborne. Ilya Grigic and Scotty Wine being forced to watch from the stands today.
Third mark to Richard Osborne. Hasn't kicked a goal. It was a good mark this time by Osborne. A good attack on the ball. And got the ride there on Lovell out in front of Sean White.
So Osborne for his first, kicking from 46 metres. He starts it right, and it refuses to come back enough. One behind. Phoebe on the bench. That's
Which
all
one?
I'm saying.
Which one? Here comes a hail, I think, Sandy. No, it might be just a bit of rubbish thrown down.
Well, I think you've got a chance that you can be right, because they're both on the bench.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can't see the other one.
And the kick now wide out towards the wing. Irving and Stanfield. We'll see a throw in just forward of centre wing. And Footscray's attacking half. Well, a real struggle for possession here. Atkins goes in after the football. Malloy over the top. And the umpire will have to bounce.
He's tried hard, Stanfield, in the ruck, but he's just been overwhelmed, hasn't he, with the height of Irving and Steins. And there's Steins on the bench with the Phoebe twins.
If only Jimmy would lean back, we'd be able to show the viewers at home just what difficulty there is in distinguishing between Stephen and Matthew Phoebe. But the umpire's got some problems here. And Cameron and Malloy just having a little hello, how are you? I don't think they get that close socially, but
I don't think Malloy would be too worried about it either.
no. Well, play goes on. The ball spills now for Brett Lovett. He kicks it high, close to the line. And is that nearly a mark paid at the back? No, it's Darcy and Glenn Lovett. And the ball goes over for a throw-in. That's Anthony Darcy, of course. Luke Darcy was named in a group of 7 players from which Footscray would name their interchange from, but he didn't take his place. As a matter of fact, he played in the reserves earlier today. And Stanfield with the football. Kicks quickly with the left. Malloy will allow it to go over.
It may have been handy in hindsight, Robert, to have him on the interchange bench. Luke Darcy with his height.
Yes, well, a very inexperienced player, but I guess with height, at least you can go in there with some sort of thing to contend with at centre bounces. Todd Viney. Now Lovell, and everything held up. So some football out there on the outer wing, left half forward area for Footscray, not providing much at all. And the umpires having a bigger part to play as the players striving to clear the ball from that area.
Bounce once again, Irving and Stanfield. Barry Stanfield tries to get clear. Obst applies the tackle. Norrish gets caught. Cameron tries to get through, then floats a hand pass away. The umpire said we can hit it illegally. You threw it. So it's been a dog of a day for young Leon Cameron. Lovell's away. He's happy with his 100th game. But the whistle has sounded, and it's going to come back. There's a bit of funny work going on there with Dean Irving, was there? He can't understand it.
High with the shepherd.
So Stanfield kicks towards half forward. Primke couldn't take the mark. It's belted off the ground down towards Osborne, close to the boundary line. Did you keep it in, Aussie? No.
A couple of the Footscray key possession winners around midfield have just been cut right out of it. Atkins started off okay, but he's only had 8 kicks and 4 hand passes. And Leon Cameron has only had 7 kicks and 1 hand pass.
Throw it in the left forward pocket. Irving, Grant comes over the top. In fact, got a hand to it. Malloy tried to take it, but couldn't. Viney sideways to Irving, and it slips towards the boundary line. Johnson almost throws it back to keep it in, but he's unsuccessful.
Another midfielder, Kim Costa, 6 kicks and 2 hand passes. They really just haven't had the on-ball power today. They've been cut to pieces around there.
Scott Allen preparing to have a run. Here comes Malloy. Finds Neitz. Melbourne out of trouble. Back towards the centre. The ball just sits in the air. Rowan Smith shows courage to go and charge at it. Gives it across to Hunter. Mark Hunter's in the middle. Gets the hand pass away to the outer side. Footscray trying to finish with some form of respectability on the scoreboard. Darcy's kick is wide towards half forward. Now Stanfield takes it. Centering kick in towards Grant, who's trying to do it from behind. And Neitz takes the mark.
Cameron off again for Footscray. Scott Allen back on.
Played well, Neitz, 11 kicks and 4 handballs and 7 marks. This is Tingay for Melbourne. His kick goes down towards half forward, and that was a top effort by Hilton. Not paid. Schwartz shrugs the tackle, then gives the hand pass back to Tingay. Tingay goes down the wing, a magnificent kick off the left foot, being a natural right foot kick. Pinpointed Malloy from 40 metres.
You forgot one of Nietzsche's stats, 1 knockout.
Malloy's kick floats over on the full, so the free kick will be taken for Footscray in the right back pocket by Keenan Reynolds. Reynolds kicks towards the 50-metre line, falls in short. Footscray a chance here through Stanfield. Not quite an effective enough kick. Dyson shrugs the tackle. Through goes Obst efficiently to Hilton, and Hilton equally as efficiently finds Pike directly in front of goal, and will kick from about 50 metres.
It was good unselfish play there by Hilton, was it? Yeah, Hilton getting it all there to Andy Lovell, to Martin Pike.
Pike with a duck egg beside his name as far as goal kicking is concerned so far. And he's soon... no, I think he's missed, does he? Yes. So still goalless at this stage, Martin Pike. And Cameron having another spell on the bench for the Bulldogs. And Keenan Reynolds will kick in. 20 goals, 12 plays, 8 goals, 10. A comprehensive victory coming up in the first semi-final to the Demons.
Footscray's season now has just 12 minutes to run. Wallace from the back pocket. Gets underneath it, drop punt, floats it high towards centre wing. Big fly by Irving, but no mark. Look at Liberatore. Irving finishes with him in a headlock almost.
Almost worth a mark there, wasn't it, to Irving?
I would have thought so.
Yeah, good effort.
But if you argue with the umpire, you don't get too many things in your favour.
65,577 fans in attendance here today. Liberatore again, but cut off by Lovett. Obst had it for a moment. Irving runs into trouble, back towards Obst and Dyson. Melbourne on the move again. Lovett on the outer side, chips in towards Schwartz.
Mark number 11 to David Schwartz.
I think we might call him Rudolph. He can afford a wry smile.
Coming in for kick number 14.
Been sensational. Stabs towards goal and has threaded it. Second goal to David Schwartz. Both kicked at that end of the ground. Melbourne get their 21st.
And his 60th goal for the season, David Schwartz. Gary Lyon coming off the ground and just having a rest. Taking no chances with him. 10 goals. And Jimmy Styres back on. This is a terrific kick for goal there from David Schwartz.
Well, there's Gary Lyon with the Phoebe boys. They're pretty happy, and Gary Lyon personally would be ecstatic. Footscray got a free kick out of the ruck contest, or it looked as though it may have been interference in the ruck contest in the centre, and that kick has been marked by Richard Osborne within scoring distance. And Lyon, safety.
Yes, that hamstring, is it?
I would suggest you're spot on, Sandy. We saw him in about the second quarter, was it? Grasping at his right leg. This is Osborne. Hits the post. Richard Osborne. And Neil Curley maybe can confirm the problem with Gary Lyon.
Yes, it's when he collided with Swallows in the third quarter. It looks like a precautionary one. They're just strapping him up with ice. And no doubt, of course, they want him available for next week.
Love it. Thank you, Curls. Kicks towards a diving Tingay. Chris Grant can't keep it in play. And a throw-in will take place. Steve Tingay's had a big day. And he'll be on the whacker next Saturday. From the throw-in, West, who started so well, couldn't take it. Glenn Lovett again runs into the Scotty West tackle. Rob West is there, so too Liberatore. Liver round the body, in towards half forward. A big pack of players, and a fine mark taken by Neitz.
He's been a terrific defender right throughout the day.
He's at half-back. Goes over the middle. Schwartz can't quite get there in time. And now Danny Southern. Well, it was away, but in the meantime, the free kick's been picked up for Robbie West for a push. Well, he takes it on the defensive side of centre wing. Steins had his name written all over that. Lovell,
Free kick.
dragged around the net. Not a subtle tackle at all. More a frustrating tackle.
It's bad tackle there by Scott Allen.
Lovell to centre wing, and a good mark taken by Malloy.
This boy will be hard to move from the side, I would think, Sandy. He's been terrific today.
He's done his bit, hasn't he? He wobbles a punt kick up towards half forward. Danny Southern applies the spoil. Pushed down towards Hotel. And he floats it in towards full forward from behind. 1 point to Hilton.
Alan Joyce, well, he's just resigned to the fact that it's all over for 1994.
Yes, 9 minutes left in the game. The kick-in has been marked by Steins. And it's the old adage, isn't it? Those tall players, they don't get any shorter as the day wears on. And Jimmy Steins standing up grandly. This is Todd Viney. He's kicked to the goal square. Irving from behind, couldn't take the mark. Away goes Southern for Footscray. Short kick, puts it nearly on the chest of Tingay, and the rebound could prove costly. The kick goes towards Hilton. Hilton's kick for goal, misses to the right. Well, I guess there's a few Melbourne players, Bernie, that would be trying to do the right thing in the last 10 minutes, because if Charles is fit, you would think that Charles would go in, so one of them has got to come out.
It'd be an automatic selection, I would think, after kicking 5 goals last week against Carlton. But, you know, they've put their hand up again today. These players that have taken, well, the player that Malloy, who came into the side as an emergency, has been terrific.
Brett Lovett can't quite control it, but gets an important tap forward. Oh, West taken over by Viney. Is that a free kick? Yes, I would have thought so too. I've seen a lot of things let go that were probably a little bit worse than that, but that free kick by West finds Southern. Now Smith. Lovely hand pass to West. That's Robbie West. In turn goes to Steve Wallace. Little build-up? No, the kick too short, and Lovell is marked. Lovell had a fantastic game against Carlton last week, picking up plenty of possessions, and he continues his good form this afternoon. The kick out towards the wing. It goes past both Schwartz and Southern. Southern happy to take it over, and a boundary throw-in will take place.
On centre wing. There's Sean Charles. Schwartz does the ruck work. Eventually just opts for a hand pass to gain 20 or 30 metres down towards the left half forward flank region. That ball went out. And it will be thrown in. Well, left half forward for the Demons. Who've controlled the football, particularly since half-time, as you can see just even by those hand pass stats for this quarter. It's been all Melbourne and an excellent display. Hilton used the body, West and Tingay running. Tingay goes back again. West has it at the bottom. Hilton is in there fighting.
I think that's an indication. Hilton trying to get as much into the action as possible. He's kicked 2 behinds in this last term, but gee, he threw himself in there.
Would have loved a couple of goals just to put his hand up and say, hey, coach, I'm here. So a bounce on centre wing. Under 7 minutes remaining. Irving, Lovett caught by Atkins. The ball held sufficiently to warrant another bounce. So Footscray will look back on a fighting year and look ahead to the summer and the months of training and preparation for another campaign. Lovett, Brett Lovett, down towards half forward. Kim Costa will be the first to recover, but Obbs chops him off with a delightful tackle. Picked up in towards half forward by Dyson. He too shrugs a tackle, then gives a little ground to go back towards Jimmy Steins. A left foot chip finds Tingay, and he does it well. Tingay's got a bit of room here. Steve Tingay, the hand pass to Dyson on 50. Over the top towards Lovett. He's caught, gives it away back to Dyson, back to Tingay. Well, they're mucking around with this one. He centres it. It's a high kick. Nureyev! Schwartz! Call him what you like.
Gee, that was a great leap, wasn't it?
12 marks to David Schwartz. What a game he's played. The 2 key forwards for Melbourne. Gary Lyon with 10 goals. Now on the interchange bench.
He doesn't go on with any nonsense either.
No, he does not. He had a very quiet year last year, David Schwartz, but back with a vengeance this year. Look at that grab. Terrific. Coming in for kick number 15.
And his 3rd goal. Well, it's a wobbly old ugly punt.
2 goals, 1 now to David Schwartz.
That makes Wanganui a notoriety, that punt kick. A Wanganui punt.
He's got plenty of spring in his heels, David Schwartz. Has given Danny Southern a real headache today.
The play now back at centre wing. And a fine mark taken by Johnson.
This boy's tried hard, Robbo.
Yes, he kicked 2 goals in the first half. But, certainly the odds up against the Bulldogs. The kick towards half forward, and it really is a sorry sight to see Chris Grant on the ground. He was knocked out in the 2nd term, came back onto the ground in the the start of the 3rd quarter, but well, it's a big job. I mean, when people are knocked out, they very seldom play a week later, let alone a few minutes later. Tries to knock that into the path of Johnson. Johnson tackled, but he gets a little knock on. Scotty West, this is a good goal. That's a terrific kick by West. Footscray goal. That's his 1st goal for the day. And Footscray post their 9th goal on the scoreboard. 21-15 the Demons, 9-11 Footscray. Remembering that Gary Lyon for Melbourne on the bench at the moment has kicked 10 goals.
Yes, and Footscray's only goal for this final quarter. Scotty West, a natural left footer on his non-preferred side, just threading that one right through the middle.
Back in the middle, 141 plays 65, the dying minutes of this knockout semi-final. This is Darcy.
12 goals to 3 since half-time.
Yes.
In favour of Melbourne.
Now Danny Southern. Bang! Too high.
He was a bit lucky, Danny. He just stopped right in the path of Schwartz.
Punts it long up towards half forward. Big pack of players. Neitz was in front. Lovell defends. A wobbly little punt kick goes back towards centre wing. Socket off the ground, but straight to Stephen Tingay. Melbourne combining beautifully. Lovell back towards centre wing. He was looking for Viney. Just couldn't quite get there in time. Rowan Smith got a decent old shove in the back after he took the kick. Big fly by Osborne, but he couldn't hold the mark. And Sean White comes away. Viney's alone on centre wing for a moment. Can go short to Lovett, and does. Here they go again. Steins, Big Jim, just outside 50. little chip. Out comes Irving. Shows plenty of dash. Tries to shrug the Keenan Reynolds tackle. Lovett gets caught. Pike needs help. Kellett over the top of him. Pripke's down there. So too is Obst. And it's Obst who kicks into the man on the mark. It wobbles just inside 50 and eventually gets stolen. And well stolen too by Darcy. As he runs out of defence, goes up towards half forward. Neats, however, is again the stumbling block.
About a dozen marks to that player at centre-half back for Melbourne. The kick goes in towards the centre. Looking for Primke. He was pretty solid in that contest. Gathers and then kicks in towards full forward. Mark is taken by Schwartz, and that would have to be his 14th mark.
Well, I'm not too sure. It must have been collected in that contest there by Danny Southern.
Well, it's amazing what can happen, isn't it? I mean, this player, 13 marks it is that he's taken, 15 kicks and 12 handballs.
Let's have a look at this
2
again.
goals.
He takes the mark. I think he may have been collected after he took the mark, a knee there from Anthony Darcy, and that's a bit nasty. Very nasty, in fact.
Well, you'd have to classify that as purely accidental, surely.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was going to say, you've got 3 minutes left of a semi-final. These boys have got the final in Western Australia to look forward to.
Well, this
and one of your absolute stars goes down with a bit of, looks like a bit of concussion, surely.
This would be an absolute tragedy. For the final minutes of the game, we've got under 3 minutes on the clock, and David Schwartz knocked out, well, appears to be knocked out from probably an accidental knee.
They've got to just... So they could suggest get him off and get him off smartly and just keep him in cotton wool.
Actually, another thing that we haven't considered, if those Phoebe boys have been off the ground for a long time, they must both be injured, would you think? Because they've been good players for...
Oh, that was bad, wasn't it? Well, the danger in that sort of situation is a serious neck injury. He was going through with momentum and coming the other way, Darcy. That would give his neck a real jolt around.
Tragic way to finish proceedings.
Well, personally and also for Melbourne, as Robbo said, in the game against West Coast next week. And he looks in a bad way, David Schwartz. This is terrible.
Just so simple, wasn't it?
Absolutely terrible that this should happen to him at this stage of the game. He would be vying, I think, with Gary Lyon for the best player on the ground. Let's have a look at this just one more time. And that's a real crunch, isn't it?
Hit by the knee in an accident.
Let's hope he's okay and he can take his place next week. That'll be a real tragedy for Melbourne and for him personally.
For his sake especially. Well, there's nothing wrong with either Phoebe boys, according to coach Neil Curley. In fact, both were fairly quiet.
Yeah, they were very quiet.
Leaving the ground, Bernie.
Very quiet, but well, this is a sorry sight for Melbourne supporters and for football in general, because he's been magnificent this afternoon, David Schwartz. He's taken 13 marks, 15 kicks, 12 hand passes, kicked 2 goals.
Well, let's just hope that it's not a neck injury.
Yep, that's right. It'd be bad enough if it's a concussion, because that may even keep him out for next week anyway.
Well, it does raise the question as to whether he would be right to play. I mean, as we know, the general rule is at least a week for concussion.
I'll take him straight up the race now, David Schwartz.
No talk of interchange there. But he's performed wonderfully well, and it's a tragic way for him to have to end his day.
Well, of course, he'd taken the mark, so the kick for goal being taken by Glenn Lovett.
Yep. Directly in front, just about, and from about 42 metres out. It's a drop punt that is away to the left and one behind. Well, Curls, have you got any news from the boundary line on him?
We have, Sandy. It's he hasn't been knocked unconscious. He's got a badly cut head, and they're taking him inside the room to stitch him up.
Well,
but he should be okay.
I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you very much. Southern was in front, but couldn't take the mark. West comes away. Back towards centre wing. Look at Tingay. Goes in and gets the football and brings it out to Lovell, who chips to half forward, and Todd Viney.
Todd Viney with the football for Melbourne. Kicks in towards the forward pocket area. Nearly the mark to Reynolds. Knocking it away was Irving. And a boundary throw-in will take place in the left forward pocket for the Demons. About 40 metres around from their goal. Gary Lyon looking quite satisfied with his performance. Viney tries to crash through. Gets it back to Dyson. Snapshot for goal by Kevin Dyson. Hooks it a little bit too far and through for one behind.
Footscray with only 2 players with more than 10 kicks. Scott West has been easily their best player with 21 kicks, and Brad Johnson with 10 kicks. After that, they just fall away very quickly.
Keenan Reynolds to bring it back into play. Goes to the outer side. It's over the line. I see Danny Southern in picture there, and sadly he hasn't had the sort of week leading up to a final that he would like. And I'm sure that the whole affair has had an effect on him.
In contrast, Sandy, Melbourne with 10 players with more than 10 kicks.
Yeah, tells the story, doesn't it? Stanfield gets a fist to it and again puts it over the line.
Oh, I forgot Barry Stanfield. Make that 3 Footscray players. Stanfield with 18, but he's been well beaten in the ruck, but he certainly has tried hard.
Stanfield again. 3, was it, Bernie?
3, Sandy, yes.
So still on the outer side.
He'll have some help next year. He'll have some statisticians in the grandstand to give him a bit of an idea with the statistics. This is Martin Pike trying to crash through that tackle from Barry Stanfield, and the umpire deems that the tackle was too high, so it's Pike for Melbourne to kick them inside 50 metres. At the back, Irving got his hands on it. Reynolds in front, Hilton underneath, and the umpire will call for a bounce. So Footscray out of the finals is Peter Gordon with Dougie Hawkins, and Dennis Gallimberti just off to the right there. So a sad end for their season, which was a good one really after an ordinary start, but bad luck with injuries. It's certainly cost them. That kick forward coming from Obst through for one behind for Melbourne. It's their 18th. 21-18, plays 9-11, and we're down under a minute left in this game. The kick in has been marked by Costa. Costa from right half back down to centre wing, and oh gee, that was a great leap, an attempted mark by Lovell. The ball forced forward, but it's Neitz. Tries to crash his way through, unsuccessful. Knocked forward by West. Terrific bump and contest there between Obst and Steve Wallace. Steve Wallace tries to knock it on and couldn't quite get his effective fist to it, so it's a boundary throw in, right half forward for the Bulldogs, probably 2 kicks from their goal.
Steins in front. Stanfield comes from behind. Lovett waits down and gets it to Andy Lovell. He's on centre wing. Pumps Melbourne in towards the sunshine area of the MCG at half forward. Phoebe is there, but he's forced to apply the tackle on Danny Southern. That's Stephen Phoebe. As the seconds tick away, a magnificent win coming up for the Melbourne Football Club. There's the siren. The Demons are through to the preliminary final. Big winners set up by a stunning third quarter. Let's go down to the boundary line. Gary Lyon booted 10. Here he is with curls.
Thanks, Sandy. Well, Gary, that was a great team performance by your boys today.
Yeah, it was, mate. It's a nice feeling to put one more. I mean, all the boys seem to play well and it all clicks, and what better time to do it than the final day.
And the ball came in nicer to you?
Yeah, we wouldn't mind it coming like that every day. Full credit to the boys, they delivered it very well.
And your defence today was very tight back there.
I just reckon the all-round performance was terrific. You know, we didn't give much away there. The boys in the middle got it well, and we managed to kick a few. So
we got a big one next week, Perth or West Coast in Perth.
Yeah, well, you know, if you want to be a part of it, you got to win over there. So we'll get over there and have a crack at it.
Congratulations on your own individual game. Great performance. Go and cheer the boys. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you, Curls. Just repeating the score here at the MCG. Melbourne Melbourne through to one preliminary final. Big winners, 21-18, 144. Footscray, their season over. Maybe Doug Hawkins' career is over. 9-11, 65.